Lights are out. We're ready to go green. Here comes your Lucas Oil Dash for Cash. Keith Bloom, Scott Winters side by side. Scott Winters darts to the inside. He takes the lead as he comes out of turn number 4. A little bit of tire smoking. Number 96 car, Keith Bloom, he falls into second place, followed by the number 5 car of Kyle Tellstrom. Well, white flag, one more lap to go. It looks like Scott Winters did not come out to play nice. He is charging ahead, and he's got about a 10-car length lead as he comes out of turn number 4. Checkered flag in the wind goes to Scott Winters. This is the North State Modified Series, sponsored by Protect the Harvest. Special event sponsors are O'Reilly Auto Parts, McMurray & Sons Roofing, and Sullivan Construction and Masonry. The flagman, Johnny Miskell, is filtering his way all the way towards the back. This is your North State Modified Series class. Give them a hand, folks. Sponsored by Protect the Harvest. I can't see the numbers. Okay. Starting in the back, we have got the 02 car, sponsored by Valley Tire and Wheel. From Sacramento, please welcome Sal Lopez. Up next, we got the number 21. He is sponsored by Lake County Tribal Health, Dana Stahl Race Cars, Lake Parts, Lake County Pumps, Sullivan Construction and Masonry. He hails from Healdsburg, California. Please welcome Danny Helm. All right, coming up next is the number 77E. He's from Eureka, sponsored by Automotive Repair Solutions, our local hero, Orion Mosher. Next, we have from Cloverdale, California, sponsored by Yellow Rose Vineyard, JD Motorsports. Special thanks to Dwayne Sharp. Please welcome Dustin DeRosier. Then we have the number 57. We have the number 57K, sponsored by Lovell Family Racing, Tax Tech, Joe's Racing Products, PFC Brakes, Vogel's RVs, Eyewear Graphics, and Furia Motorsports. From Ukiah, Kylie Keown. Then we have the number 57J, sponsored by Lauren Wealth Trucking and Firewood. From Kelseyville, Eric Johnson. Next, we have the number 56 car. She's from all the way from Caldwell, Idaho. Sponsored by Idaho State Towing, Garrett Doyle Performance, Catapult 3, Can Do Insurance, MOS Threads, 12th Avenue Tattoo, Roofs Bar and Grill, KTR Trucking, Rosalee Weller. Then we have the 02. He is sponsored by Valley Tire and Wheel. He comes over from Reading. Please welcome Cody Braund. Then we have the number 83, sponsored by Metcalf Motor Machine and Rotor Park from Petaluma, Richie Potts. 96. Richie has won here before, so keep an eye on him. Then we have the number 96. He is sponsored by Sal Lopez, Transmissions by Hal, Aerial Lift, SWT Motorsports, MTFX Graphics, Bloom's Mobile Repair from Anderson, Keith Bloom. All right, then we got the number 16. He is sponsored by JawsGear.com and A1 Advantage Asphalt. He's all the way from Klamath Falls, Oregon, Rich Cobb. 64. Then we have the number 64 from Potter Valley, sponsored by Dana Stahl Racing. It's Simi Tour. He also races in the Bomber Division here in Eureka and at Ukiah. Next, we have the number 5. He is sponsored by Steve Taylor Excavation, STR, and PFC Brakes. He's from Ukiah. Welcome, Cole Brown. Next, he needs no introduction. He's raced up and down the coast for a few years. Heck of a wheelman. He is sponsored by Rainbow Pellet Stoves, Matt Rogers Engines, and Kaleidoscope Coffee Company. He hails from Medford, Oregon. Please welcome Randy Houston. Next is the number 57K, sponsored by Lavelle Family Racing, Tax Tech, Joe's Racing Products, PFC Brakes, Vogel's RVs, Eyewear Graphics, Furia Motorsports. Please welcome Kylie Keown. Next is the number 77, sponsored by Gary Cambra, Don and Sella Holberg, Auto Glass Ortiz, Nate's Electric, and West Coast Pools. From Kelseyville, Jeremy Nowlin. Next is the number 7C. He is sponsored by NorCal Transmissions, Selvage Concrete Products, Dana Stahl Race Cars, Schaefer's Racing Oil. He is a 2-time winner in 2020 from Santa Rosa, Cameron Austin. Next is the number 19 car. He's sponsored by Price Racing, Visual Concepts, Danco Builders, Ballistic Precision, Indoor Shooting Range. From Eureka, yes, he is in a modified. It's Brandon White. Next is the number 69. Next, is the number 21. Sponsored by Lake County Tribal Health, Dana Stahl Race Cars, Lake Parts, Lake County Pumps, Sullivan Construction and Masonry. From Kelseyville, Darrin Sullivan. Now we move on to the number 69. He is sponsored by Dana Stahl Racing and Kaiser Manufacturing. He's winner of the 2020 race at Lakeport Speedway on July 18th. From Lakeport, Charlie Collins. 15A. Next is the number 15A. He is sponsored by JawsGear.com, A1 Advantage Asphalt, West Coast Supplies, Comtech Racing Engines, Donna Bailey, MTFX Graphics, Knox Suspension, the Philpot Racing Family Supporters. Winner of the Shasta Speedway race in 2019 in Shasta, from Sacramento, Jason Philpot. Then we have the number 27 car. He is sponsored by Running Springs Heating and Air, Lakeport, Speedy Signs from Ukiah, Economy Heating and Air, Roseville, Cars Auto Body, Lakeport, NorCal Transmission in Santa Rosa, Borello Racing Engines, J. Buse Racing and Fabrication. Thanks to Richard Elliott, Kyle Pollock, Kyle Health, and Josh Buse. From Lakeport, Ian Elliott. Next, we have the number 20 car. He is sponsored by McMurray and Sons Roofing. Thanks to Dave and Kate, Lauren Roth Trucking and Firewood, Rattlesnake Ridge Olive Oil, Golden Gate Meat Company, Lucerne Roofing, Looney Tuned Exhaust, NorCal Transmission, Dana Stahl Chassis, and he is honoring Dale Baldwin and Dale Baldwin Masonry. S&K Seal and Stripe from Kelseyville, Darrin Knight. Next is the number 5K. He is sponsored by Redwood Acres Vogel's RV, Joe's Racing Products, PFC Brakes, Pit Stop USA, NorCal Powder Coating, Bell Helmets, Eyewear Motorsports, Swift Springs, Racing Electronics, and STR. From Ukiah, Kyle Tellstrom. Then we have the number 24. He is sponsored by Wayne Ferrari of Ferrari Farms, Don Kramer, Heads by Steve, Tony's Pizza, and Transmissions by Hal and All Pro Coatings. He hails from Tracy, California, Scott Winters. Last but not least is the number 75 car. That car is owned by Eddie Wilcox, sponsored by Wilcox Automotive, Davison's Racing Products, and Peters Racing Engines. He needs no introduction in that 75. From Upper Lake, Jeremy Doss. This is your North State Modified Series, sponsored by Protect the Harvest. Final race for the 2021 season at Redwood Acres Raceway. And it looks like a little bit of an issue for the 02 car. I believe that's Sal Lopez in that 02. It looks like something is broke in the front suspension of that 02 car. It's going to need the help of Pacific Towing to get back into the pits here, so it's going to be just a couple minutes. Once again, this is the biggest purse they have ever offered for the North State Modified Series. $5,000 to the winner tonight. $5,000. And I'm sure the government will be right there with their hand out for their part. Sorry, still got to pay taxes on that $5,000. This is the Dale Baldwin Challenge presented by McMurray & Sons Roofing. Second place is going to get $2,500. Third place, $1,500. Fourth place, $1,200. Fifth place, $1,000. Sixth place, $500, and incrementally it goes down from there to 10th place, gets $200. So there's a good payout for this race. So I got a feeling it's going to be checkers or wreckers for a few of these guys, because we're just about to the end of the racing season for 2021. Hey, guess what, guys? For every red flag in the race, there's $2 beers downstairs during a red flag. Head on downstairs for a $2 beer. We love red flags now. All right, we're going to get them lined up and ready to go. Jeremy Doss on the point for the North State Modified Series presented by Protect the Harvest. Who is going to win the $5,000? And we want to give a big shout out to McMurray & Sons Roofing, your local roofer for over 100 years. If you need some roofing done, whether it be repairs or an entire installation of a roof, you need to call McMurray & Sons Roofing. Do yourself a favor and don't go with a cheap competitor. And we want to give a big shout out to the number 20 car and in memory of Dale Baldwin and Dale Baldwin Masonry in the number 20 car. And don't forget Cole Braund, who is driving in memory of Steve Taylor out of Cloverdale, who died in after his race last year with the North State Modified Series here in Eureka. Cole Braund, we're with you here, buddy. There he goes, that number 5 with the wings on the door. That is in memory of Steve Taylor. All right, let's hear it. Are you guys ready for 60 laps of thunder in the Modified Series? Here they come out of turn number 4. Green flag is in the air. Oh, we got big time smoke out of one of the cars in the back. Someone is smoking bad, and around goes one of the cars. We've got a spin in the back. We've got carnage on the first lap. The first lap. That was a lot of smoke coming out of that one car that went off into the pits. I'm trying to get a number on him. I think that was the 5th. That was the number 16 car that ducked off into the pits. That was Rich Cobb, who was in the smoking section. The number 64 car was involved, limping along there. That is Simi Tour in the 64. Looks like he has a little damage to the driver's side rear of that car. It's had a little bar adjustment. And oh, what a bummer for the number 27 car. That was Ian Elliott in the 27. Well, luckily that didn't take out more cars, because that certainly could have. Good heads-up driving by our field of competitors. Here comes the number 57 back out on the track. That is Kylie Keown in the number 57. The North State Modified Series also has a Hard Charger Award given to the hardest charger and the person that makes up the most positions in the race. That is sponsored by Naki Shocks and Suspension. The checkered flag sponsor is Sunoco Racing Fuel. Contingency sponsors for the North State Modified Series are 5 Star Bodies, Scribner Plastics, and Frank's Radios. All right, we didn't make it a lap, so it reverts back to no laps on the board. Jeremy Doss and Kyle Tellstrom still going to bring them down to the line. Oh, I'm sorry, Jeremy Doss and Scott Winters. Scott Winters in the number 24. You have seen both Doss and Winters If you have MAV TV, you've seen them racing those modifieds at Madera Speedway on TV. Don't forget to go over to the pits after the races for the pit party. You can go check out the cars and get some autographs from the drivers. Let your kids check out these race cars. That's how we keep future generations interested in this wonderful sport of ours. Keep the kids involved and head over to the pits and get some stuff done. There's also a tow money program for the North State Modified Series. It is sponsored by Lucas Oil. And the points fund sponsor is Hoosier Tires West. All right, the flagman, Johnny Miskill, gives him the 1 to go sign. Next time around, we're going to throw the green flag. That number 56 of Rosalee Weller, she's got a pretty cool wrap on that car. You get up close, it's got a big black widow on the side, a spider. Really Halloween themed, it's pretty cool. Keep an eye on her throughout this race. She's going to move up for sure. Here they come out of turn number 4. We got green. And Jeremy Doss with the early lead into turn number 3 out of turn number 4. Second place is the 24 of Scott Winters, followed by the number 5K in third of Kyle Tellstrom. Oh, we got problems into turn number 3 down in the dirt. 21 car involved, lots of cars. It's a melee in turn number 3. Well, that was quite the skirmish down towards turn number 3 in the back straightaway, collecting quite a few cars, some of them ending up in the grass, and some of that grass ending up in there, well, you know what. You know where that grass ended up. And it looks like the number 21 of Darrin Sullivan received some damage during that. He's going to try to limp that car into the pits, but he doesn't quite make it over there to the pit entrance. And we're going to get the help of Pacific Towing out onto the track. Here he comes out of 4. I think he needs to find the gas pedal on that tow truck, though. Going a little bit slow. Hey, wait a minute. I don't see a car on the track now. Okay, I think Pacific Towing's just doing a parade lap now. But seriously, we want to thank Pacific Towing for all of their support in the 2021 season. Number 20 stopped on the front straightaway. We're not sure why. That is Darrin Knight, multi-time winner here at Redwood Acres Raceway in the number 20. Don't know what he's doing there. Track official's going to go over and check and see if he'd like to order a hamburger and fries. Looks like he's having the official check the left front suspension of that car. The official looks at it and says, I have no idea what I'm looking at. And then the number 15 comes to a stop and says, I'm next. I'd like to order a box of your tiny tacos. You get a close-up look of the number 15A. That is Jason Philpot. Beautiful car there. And as the 2021 race season for the North State Modified starts to come to a close, we want to give a big shout out to their race director, Nadine Strauss. She does a great job day in and day out to promote this racing series on the West Coast. All right, it looks like we got him lined back up and ready to go. Let's see if Johnny Miskell gives him the one to go. Nope, the caution flag comes back out. Your two front runners are Jeremy Dawes and Scott Winters. They are both main event winners in the North State Modified Series. Very, very good wheelmen, good competitors. They can get the job done in any car they set their foot into. I'm pretty sure that they could make a shopping cart go faster. All right, lights are out. We are ready to go back to green flag racing as they come out of turn number 4. Here they go, mashing the gas. Oh, problems about mid-pack. Someone's dragging a bunch of sheet metal down there. That car looks like it might have a flat. That is the number 57K of Kyle Tellstrom with a problem. Kyle Tellstrom now ducks off into the pits. And we got caution on the racetrack up in turn number 1. 2 cars collected up into the wall. We got parallel parking in turn number 1. Parallel parking in turn number 1. And that was the number 56 involved. That is Rosalee Weller. And the number 64 of Simi Tour. Getting together on Match.com in turn number 1. Well, it looks like Simi Tour was not hurt too bad in the number 64. He's able to continue. I don't see Rosalee Weller out here. Where is she at? Little problem for the number 21 car. That is Darrin Sullivan in the 21. And it looks like the number 57K of Kylie Keown was able to rejoin the race. All right, one more time, one to go. We got 8 laps on the board, 8 laps. 52 laps left to go in this main event. And you're not going to want to move out of your seat after this race is over. We still have a 100 lap late model main event to get done tonight. All right, watch Jeremy Doss as he comes out of turn number 4 to take the green flag again. Here we go. Well, look at that. Kyle Tellstrom in the number 5 car on the outside of Jeremy Doss. They're side by side as they come out of turn number 4. Battle for the lead in the North State Modified Series. They are leaning on each other hard down the back straightaway. Neither one of them wanting to give an inch as they come out of turn number 4. It is definitely the harder line to take on this track, the outside line. If you don't get it done in a couple of laps, you're going to burn up your tires. So you've got to back off and let your tires cool off. Brandon White in the number 19 car has hit the wall on the front straightaway. That's going to bring out a caution as the 77 has problems too. Brandon White came out of turn number 4. He clocked that front wall. We'll have to see if there's any damage on that Price family race car. Check out that 19 right there. Looks like he might have a bent wheel, but it looks like problems also for the 9 of Randy Houston. Houston's parked in turn number 4. "37 laps left to go in this main event for the North State Modified Series. Safety officials are going to go over and check on Randy Houston in the 9 car. And the tow truck from Pacific Towing is headed out to check on that 9 car as well. Awesome side-by-side battle on the last restart between Jeremy Doss and the number 5 of Kyle Tellstrom. Tellstrom had to give up trying that outside line because if you don't get it within a couple laps, your tires get too hot. You're not going to get it done, so you've got to fall back in line on the bottom line and let your tires cool off. Just what Kyle did. He was able to hold on to second place. There's a lot of laps left, and he was probably playing it smart and going to try to save some equipment for the last part of this race. Brandon White was doing a good job. Not sure if he got into some fuel or what, but as he came out of turn 4, his car got up into the wall on the front stretch. So it'll be interesting to see if Brandon White has any damage when he gets back to Green Flag Racing that's going to affect the handling of that car. All right, we got them lined up and ready to go. Again, watch them as a 4. The green flag comes out. Problems for Brandon White down the front straightaway. Loses a lot of positions in that number 19 car. And look at that, Kyle Tellstrom with a great move to take over the lead on that restart. I had a feeling that Kyle Tellstrom had something to say to Jeremy Doss, and he wants to say, see you later. We have just hit the halfway point, 30 laps down, 30 laps left to go for the North State Modified Series. Well, for a race recap, Kyle Tellstrom is still up front, followed by the 75 car. Jeremy Doss holding point on second place. Number 24 of Scott Winters is currently in third, followed by the number 69 of Charlie Collins. 7C of Cameron Austin doing a good job, followed by the number 5 of Cole Brown. And then we get back to Keith Bloom in the 96 and Brandon White holding on to 9th place in the number 19. Now the leader, Kyle Tellstrom, is going to start to get into a lot of lap traffic down the front straightaway right now. There goes your leader in the orange and white, number 5K. That is Kyle Tellstrom. He has caught the back of the field, and he's going to be in some very heavy traffic going forward now. Brandon White in the number 19. He is having a lot of trouble getting around the slower car of Cody Braund. Cody Braund is really holding him back. The number 19 is obviously faster, but is having trouble getting around him. Oh, problems now with the number 19. 77 up into the wall due to some lap traffic. Problems with Brandon White in the number 19. Dun, dun, dun. Well, I saw the whole thing on that one. Brandon White was really struggling to find a way around the 0-2 of Cody Braund. White was obviously faster than Cody, but Cody was making it very hard to pass. So then when they came up on some lap traffic, it got Brandon White caught up on the outside. White tried to duck to the inside, and there just wasn't a big enough door, and that caused a problem out of turn number 2 that spun some cars and put one in the wall. That of the number 77. Oh, and that was a drive line on the front straightaway that the 83 just ran over. Uh-oh. You picked a fine time to leave me, drive line. Number 83 car now has a drive line stuck underneath his car. Unfortunate incident for Richie Potts. Brandon White with a rough main event here in the modified series tonight. Looks like he's done for the evening in that number 19 car. That is owned by Price Family Racing. Brandon White won a main event with the North State Modified Series. I believe it was Lakeport. Was it Lakeport or was it in Ukiah? Brandon White, he won a main event, didn't he? So I'm not sure what they're going to do. The 83 of Richie Potts doesn't really want to move with that driveline stuck underneath his car. Who knows what kind of damage that could have done. The motors sit very, very low in these vehicles. And hopefully it didn't punch a hole in the oil pan or something. And we're going to go to red light conditions. You know what that means. $2 beers. $2 beers downstairs. $2 beers. Technically, it's not flashing red, but everybody stopped, so I'm calling that a red. And the number 77 car was the unfortunate one in this whole incident. Jeremy Nowlin doing a fine job in that number 77 tonight. He was an innocent bystander behind the three-way battle with Brandon White trying to get around the 02 of Cody Braund and getting caught up with lap traffic. So too bad for the number 77. It looks like he's leaked a bunch of fluid onto the racetrack off of that car. So you better head down for $2 beers right now, because it's going to be a lengthy cleanup, I think, probably about 5 to 10 minutes. How much you want to bet Johnny Miskill is going to turn the red light on when he gets up on the flag stand? There it is, red flag. So I'll be curious to see what they do with Richie Potts here on the 83 car. He hit that drive lane on the front straightaway, smack dab with his front end. So not really sure what they're going to do with that one. How's everybody doing? You guys still having a good time up here? It sounds like some of you have fell asleep. That was pathetic. Come on. Okay, we're going to cut that one guy off of beer. He can't have no more. He's going to have to share with everybody else. Well, it looks unfortunate for Brandon White. He's got Pacific Towing getting ready to hitch up that number 19 car. He will not be going home with a $5,000 check tonight. But he still has the Legends Championship, so he can be happy about that. And there's the number 77 car on the hook of the other Pacific Towing truck. Kind of making the slow procession like a funeral procession back there. Bummer deal for the 77 car. I keep telling my wife, I want to buy a modified. I want to run a modified car. I've ran everything from real stocks to bombers. I've ran Thunder Roadsters and late models. And one in every class, I want to run a modified. Oh, Lindsay Sullivan just said I could have her dad's chassis. I hope she's talking about a race car chassis, because I don't want her dad's other one. Sorry, I don't swing that way. All right, they got the driveline out from underneath the 83 car. You'd have to ask him. He's the camera guy. His dad's watching it at home. Have him jump up and grab the railing and poke up. All right, so far so good. It looks like Richie Potts might be able to continue in this race. Now, I'm not sure. Do you know if this is this the last race for the North State Modified Series in 21? There's another one? When's it going to be? The next race for the North State Modified Series. Oh, here it is. I found my schedule finally. They are going to be in Shasta in 2 weeks. North State Modified Series will be at Anderson Speedway in Shasta County, right off of Highway 273. All right, have a big round of applause for Brandon White, the number 19. I feel bad for him. I'd send him flowers, but I don't buy flowers. Every time I take my wife flowers, I just go, by the hospital or cemetery. There's plenty of free flowers there. Just kidding. I would never, ever do that. And it looks like I think the one that lost the drive line is the number 61 car. The number 57 is what I hear. Kylie Keown probably. We got cars going in all different directions. Here comes the 77 down the front straightaway. Looks a little wrinkled, nothing a little welding and steel can't fix. Definitely don't go anywhere. Don't lose your seat. We still have the 100-lap late model main event coming up after this race. "15 late models are going to take the green flag for 100 laps. A lot of good competition in the late model division tonight. We got David Henderson, a past champion. Of course, Dustin and Ryan Walters are good wheelmen. They could win for sure. And, of course, we have the number 22 back, David Miller. He is always fast, and he's in that brand new, beautiful race car of his, a Rowdy chassis. And it's good to see the 41 car out of Gowalla back. Junior Roddy is here tonight. Very happy to see him. I've known him for years. He's a good guy, hell of a good race car driver. It would make me happy to see him win a race. Why, hello there, Tristan. How are you tonight?
Good. Good.
Who do you want to win this race? Which race car are you rooting for?
Number 7.
You're rooting for the number 7? Is that Cameron Austin that you're rooting for?
Yeah.
How come you chose that one?
It has a big old red 7 that is like an A.
Awesome. Well, I hope that he goes and wins this thing. All right, Johnny Misko gives them the cross them up sign. They're going to have 1 to go. We're going to be back to green flag racing. 52 laps on the board. This is going to be a shootout to the end. 8 laps left is all there is. So let's see what Jeremy Doss has, because it looks like Kyle Tellstrom got the better of him. This is going to be a nail biter here. Oh, problems in the back. Oh, Jeremy Doss is around. He gets hit. A bunch of cars are getting collected. Something bad happened into turn number 1. That was a mess. Man, I tell you what, that was a really odd restart. Kind of a trend going tonight. But the good part is the yellow got thrown. Seb Doss is not happy with Kyle Tellstrom. Not happy at all. This is brewing up to be an awesome finish to this North State Modified race. Luckily, Doss spun. He did get hit a little bit in the left front, but it possibly just hit the Nerf bars. I don't know if it got his wheel or not. Hopefully the toe's not knocked out in that car or something. So we still have Kyle Tellstrom at the front. Second place, Jeremy Doss, and Scott Winters in the 24. Those are your top 3. Uh-oh, somebody's getting a black flag warning or something. And it looks like Tellstrom might be getting sent to the back. And it looks like, no, they put Doss to the back. Jeremy Doss. And they're going to put Tellstrom to the back also. Looks like the 0-2 is stalled on the front straightaway also. Cody Braund getting help from the track officials. Oh, they're going to have to thread the needle here. Oh, boy, this is good. I think the number 5 of Kyle Tellstrom is challenging the officials' decision to put him to the back. Well, out of attrition, it looks like the number 24 is the victor in this whole melee. Scott Winters now at the front. Johnny Misko, the flagman, I just saw him giving the sign language to the 5K of Kyle Tellstrom that he came up and hit Doss. So, yeah, he's going to make him start at the back. Tellstrom's still not happy about it. And he's got that car moving. And here we go, Kyle Tellstrom back at the front. Although I don't think they're going to let him stay there. Yeah, there he goes. Well, what a bummer. Out of that skirmish, we've lost both of our front runners to the back of the pack. They've only got 8 laps to get back to the front. Let's see what happens when they cross them up. This is going to be good. And that puts the number 69 of Charlie Collins on the outside of Scott Winters. They're the front runners at the front, ready to take the green. Keep an eye on the 75 of Doss and the number 5K of Kyle Tellstrom. Something tells me this battle's probably not over as they come around turn number 4. We're back to green for 8 more laps. And problems in the back. We got the number 75, Jeremy Doss and Kyle Tellstrom around at the back again. Well, 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 something told me that was not finished. This is turning into a Jerry Springer episode here at Redwood Acres Raceway. Everybody get your phones out. We might need a good YouTube video of this one. And there's fluid leaking from the 75 Jeremy Doss. Looks like Kyle Tellstrom is out of his car, walking around the front of it. And that's how you flush $5,000 down the toilet, ladies and gentlemen. And they have waved the checkered flag. Time is up for the North State Modified Series. They're calling the race. Your winner is the number 24 car of Scott Winters. They did that due to time constraints. We got to have time for our 100-lap late model main event. We want to thank the North State Modified Series for being here at Redwood Acres Raceway, sponsored by Protect the Harvest and McMurray and Sons Roofing.